Hey everyone, this is a bonus video because the 21-day challenge also had a sort of a bonus. We got a sales essential training as a bonus for having completed the challenge. Now, I think most of the things we talked about so far in this challenge have been a lot of mindset and how to actually structure a program and what the technicalities are and the admin on things and how to really define your niche. Of course, once you have all this, you will need to sell something. And what we practiced on LinkedIn was basically reaching out to people to get a strategy call. What we hadn't talked about was how to actually sell to people. Now, if you're a teacher, or even if not, you might be thinking selling is one of the worst things ever. I'm not a salesperson, I can't sell. And yes, well, I would say I have similar thoughts about this. I have some experience in sales. I used to be a fundraiser actually when I was living in Australia for a while. And I remember starting this thinking I will never make a sale in my life until I actually got decent at it, I will say, to my surprise. And I think there are two things about this. The first thing is you get better the more you practice, right? The more you speak, the more comfortable you feel in the words that you should say. Because for most sales jobs, there's some sort of a script, some words that they have tested that have shown results in converting sales. And the other part is your conviction of how good you're at selling and whether you stand behind a product. So I think if you're selling something that you are convinced about, you will present yourself in a much more confident way and people will notice. If you are not convinced about the program, then you will struggle more, yeah? Because if you're not convinced of it, how would you sell this to someone, right? So again, there is a big part of mindset when it comes to selling. Yeah? If you are convinced your program is the best and you can help the student, you will do everything to help them. That will show when you're selling, right? And I think as a teacher, most of us just want to help. I love my job because I feel like I can truly help people improve their life by improving their English. And it's not only their English, it's their confidence, the way they present themselves, the way they feel about themselves. I think speaking a foreign language is so much more than just speaking those words, right? It's about making connections with other people. So this is something I can, easily transmit to people. And then of course, right, the other part is on how do you handle objections, because of course everybody will say, I can't afford it. This is a very normal sentence. Every sales job you work at, you will get a sort of a paper saying how to handle money objections, right? And I will make a video about this in the future. I think I'm in the process right now of learning how to pay more for a service. I used to be extremely cheap, to be honest, and I never thought I would pay a lot of money for like an hour. And I eventually overcame this when I had some coaching for the first time a few years back. And I remember I felt so uncomfortable paying this much money, even though I loved the coaching in the end. And when I thought about it later, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I did this, right? And I think it's difficult if you come from a place where you're counting the money by the minute or something, right? And maybe you don't make that much an hour and think, how can a coach charge 80 euros an hour or 100 or 50 or 60? And I totally get it. I thought the same, and it's still part of me, right, that calculates it like this. But it's, I think it's really, you have to look at, do you want to invest in yourself and do you want to grow and do you want to put that money into it? If you don't, it's fine. You don't have to, right? That's the thing. Nobody will force you to put money into your own personal development. And I think maybe also when you live in Germany, a lot of things are free, right? Like university is for free, schooling is for free. We're used to not having to pay a lot. I think maybe in the States, people are more used to paying large sums of money for education, for example. Whereas in Germany, it's for granted that you can study at university for free. So why would you pay for service, right? So this is definitely something to work on, and I have been working on it. And I have put a considerably larger amount of money into my language studies, and I have really enjoyed that. And I definitely thought it was worth it. I will update you on this in a future video. So yes, it's about expressing this mindset and clarifying this with people that, yeah, people are putting the money into their personal development. And somebody once told me that, I will say this again in another video, if you're paying a lot of money for something, chances are it will hurt you a little bit paying for it, but then you will do your utmost to get your money's worth. If you've ever taken a free course, please think about how far you completed this. I downloaded a free Italian course and I never looked into it. And then I paid a lot of money for one and I made sure that I went through this course. So unfortunately, because there is so much free content available today to consume, we're used to that more, but it doesn't keep our focus. And you also have to remember that speaking to a human who gives you their time is becoming a privilege, I think, in our world. We're used to doing everything online and everything is pre-recorded. So I think that there is a lot of value into putting your time into this. And maybe if you're a student watching this, please don't forget that if you're paying for something that lasts an hour, think about how much more time your coach, your trainer, your teacher is busy so that you can have a great hour. Those are things like preparing for this hour. You can spend a full hour preparing for an hour of teaching, right? Especially if you want to fully adapt to this. Maybe the teacher writes a script for something, looks up a video, looks up exercises. You just see the end result. You just see, there's the exercise. This is what we're doing. But you have to take the time to find this. Then maybe your teacher sends you emails with useful tips, right? I like to give advice to my students. I like to tell them, hey, there's this podcast. I thought of you. You can do this and this exercise. I write them a long email with, do this first, do this next, do this next. All of this takes time, right? And you want to follow up, you want to make sure the student knows what time the class is, and everything around this involves a lot more than just those 45, 50 minutes that you actively see. This is why I think it's really questionable when somebody charges only 15 euros for an hour, because that basically means that their hourly rate is like 7 euros. And then I feel really sorry for them, and it's just, you're putting your heart into this, so why not get paid for it adequately? Because you want to continue doing this job and not burn out or have a financial issue because of this. Anyway, long story short, sales training was interesting. It scared me because it doesn't come natural to me. But yeah, it's something that you have to work on. And it's about your own mindset also as a teacher that you have to work on. And yeah, so I am looking forward to working on my mindset. I think it never hurts to work on your own mindset and to see what changes. Anyway, if you have any thoughts, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. And I will make more language learning related videos in the future. So if you're interested in that, stick around. You can check out my Instagram. It's the same name as this. I will start posting more now that I have finished the challenge. Yes, I'll actually be going to Japan for a little bit, so you can see content about Japan then. So see you soon there. Cheers.